Hey, it's Lynn.
Hey, it's Tanya.
We have been off YouTube for actually a few months now, since November when we did our last video, because we have been just absolutely slammed busy. But we have a lot of messages that we are going to be sharing. Apologies for no video, but we have a lot of things going on and we just want to get the message out there. So we're going to throw some audios up. The first one is about signs that basically determine whether or not you're a true twin or you're actually like a twin soul or a twin or a soulmate. We have a lot of people that are coming to us for dark mitigations. They've got dark in their journeys, or they've got what they think is a karmic, but we're finding out that a lot of people have really been misled through the community because people are not capable of seeing the actual signs of a true twin connection, and so they're doing random readings and telling people that they're twin flames when they're actually not. So we're going to talk about the abilities that it takes and the actual characteristics of what true twins actually all have in common. Now, if you are a true twin, then all of these things, all of these characteristics will ring true for you. There are a couple that can be muted because of dark, but for the most part, most of these should apply to you if you're a true twin. If you don't know what some of these are, there are very rare circumstances where people are having walk-in situations, and some of these things are coming online now. But for the most part, if you are a walk-in and you're moving into your twin connection now, most of these will apply, or you will have some kind of awareness of them on some level. If you don't have any of these, or most of these don't apply to you, honestly, if they don't, take an inventory. And if this whole list doesn't apply to you, or you're like, I don't really know what the hell most of this stuff is, then chances are you are not a true twin. Tanya and I do have an energy test that we can do that basically validates twin energy, and we'll talk about that at the very end. But most importantly, we really want people in the community to understand what path they're on. And Tanya and I are very, very careful about cross-validating all of these signs. We do have the abilities to be able to see these characteristics. That's why we're going to talk about them, but we're not going to share exactly what they are, because dark takes everything we do and flips it upside down and bends people over with it. So,
Just because these symbols or these signs or whatever you want to call them, just because they're muted doesn't mean they're not there. Every single twin we have come across has had every single one of these. So just because they're muted, because there's something in the way, does not mean they're not there. Every single one of these signs are always present. Always.
with true twins.
Yes.
Yep. And if they're muted, Tanya and I can see how they're muted and why they're muted. And there are just a lot of people in the community that aren't even twins that are trying to diagnose this stuff. They're sending people in the wrong direction, in the wrong path. And there's a lot of twins that are coming to us, or people that come to us believing they're twins, and they have been beating their head against a concrete wall trying to get through this journey that doesn't apply to them. And we feel like it's our responsibility to really bring an awareness to people about what path they're truly on. Because if you are trying to navigate the twin flame path and you're not on it, it is grueling and it's going to break you. And we don't want people to be going down a path that's not in their best and highest good.
It's not just that. If you think you're on a twin flame path, there's multiple people that are involved going down the same path with you. And if it's not their path, then everything's pretty much being halted. So
there are 8 characteristics of true twin flames. There is a lot of people that are like, well, only I know if I'm really a twin. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. You definitely, if you're a twin or not. But the energy and the evidence does not lie. And so this is the energetic evidence that we use. Tanya and I both see these things differently. I see it, she feels it. But we both look at someone when they come to us to help determine what path they're really on. And these are what the 8 things that we look at. So first one is the cord. Karmics and soulmates have a cord between them that is black. It looks like black spaghetti, like a big round piece of rubber. It's black and it's solid and there's nothing in it. There's no energy in it. That is a karmic or a soulmate cord. The true twin cord is ethereal cord. It's got a lot of energetic characteristics to it that Tanya and I can see and hear. Each one of them is unique, and they vary in strength and color and sound based on the health of the connection. So this is one thing that we use to determine when we're working with a twin, you know, where they are in progression in their journey. The health of the cord is a big indicator. So if your cord does not have the twin characteristics, then you are not a true twin flame. Number one. I mean, hands down, that's like a do or die. You either have this ethereal cord with these characteristics or you do not.
Exactly. And also this cord is not something that can be mimicked at all by anything. Light, dark, it doesn't matter. The cord is the cord. You can't make it there if it's not. I'll just say that.
Exactly. And it is indestructible. You can't break it. You can't cut it. You can't do anything like that. I know people talk about cord cutting. It's not possible. Dark can affect it in ways and kind of weaken it. Your own progress in your path and not doing your work can also affect it. If you are being pulled, we're talking about this in a different video or a different audio. If you've got a walk-in situation going on, your cord will change. But Tanya and I can look at that. Second thing is the seal. Every true twin should be sealed. There's a mark on the forehead, and we can see it if you are actively still on path, and if you are a true twin on path, this seal will be evident. Dark also has a marking. This is a marking on the forehead. So true twins have a specific marking. They're all the same. True twin pairs also have a common and unique marking that applies to just the two of them that matches.
It's almost like a fingerprint. It's unique to each twin pair. Each twin pair actually has their own unique marking.
There are also other symbols throughout the energetic field. So there's symbols around the ankle. There's other symbols like under the rib cage. There's symbols and markings other places, but mainly the seal and then the twin marking. Mm-hmm. Third thing is the heart chakra. We're not talking about, we ask people all the time to describe your heart chakra sensations. If you're a true twin, you know exactly what this is. You may not recognize what it is for those that are kind of new to the journey or they're walk-ins. They're like, I have this feeling in my heart chakra. This isn't like, oh, it just feels so warm and loving. And there's specific physical symptoms to the heart chakra. There were 3 or 4 of them that mean different things. As the communication between you and your twin is being exchanged, there will be 3 or 4 different specific sensations in the heart chakra. If you don't have these, either your twinship is really, really, really sick, or you're not a twin. Fourth one is Kundalini. A lot of people don't even know what this is. Some people that are being affected by dark, their Kundalini has been restricted, so it hasn't risen. Other than that, if you're in this journey still and you're not being attacked and bent over by dark, your Kundalini should have risen. You will know this. If you've had it, you know it. There's no mistaking it. There's no getting through it without knowing that something major is going on. This isn't just like, oh, I just felt this rush of energy one day, or it's not something that's insignificant. It's Kundalini.
Yeah, it's very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't just mean, I mean, we've had people talking about how their whole life changed. That's not what this is. Kundalini is much, much, much different. It's very intense. That's the reason why when Lynn and I asked that, and if you're saying you don't know, we know you have had it. It's just that potent.
It's not an awareness either. It's not like, well, I just knew something was different. No, it's specific energetic sensations. You'll know it. Yeah. And we'll go through it with you if you're confused about that. The thing is the telepathic and 5D connection with your twin and also your abilities so that you're communicating with team as well, your divine team. So we're not talking about telepathy like, well, he was thinking about me and my cell phone went off. Or sometimes I feel like we're thinking about each other at the same time. That's not it. We're talking about a very significant communication between you and your twin that has nothing to do with the phone, that has nothing to do with the computer, that has nothing to do with anything 3D at all. You are communicating, either you're seeing them, you're astral traveling to them, you are connecting on a soul level and actually having full communication through thoughts, through your cord, through Telepathy meaning you're having conversations, you're having visions, you're seeing things that they're showing you. Remote traveling.
Yeah. As of right now, anyway, all true twins and walk-ins alike are being pushed away from the 3D. So if you're thinking that the telepathy and the 5D and all your abilities are just coming from the 3D standpoint, then it needs to really be reevaluated.
Yep. There's a lot of people out there that are like, but twins don't really have telepathy. Yes, you do. And if you're not mastering it, you will not move forward in this journey. In fact, this is one of the things that God is using to weed out twins. It's like, if you don't master this 5D and telepathy, then you're not moving into mission. You're not communicating with team. And a lot of these people are getting pulled for it. The telepathy and the 5D also applies to team. Are you getting your messages directly from God and your divine team? Are you working with them on mission? Are you hearing them clearly? We're not talking about this Archangel Michael that's out there that's really not Archangel Michael. We're talking about definitive communication with team.
Yeah.
Every twin should be having that. If you're not, that's a problem.
Right.
We're almost done. Definitive input from Archangel Michael and God. We're not talking about, we're not talking about, oh, somebody told me I was a twin. I heard it in my sleep. Or I got this thing in my head that was like, you're a twin. It's nothing like that. We're not talking about people who have channeled something for you that gives you this 4-page letter from your twin that says nothing specific at all about your situation, your twin, or something that anyone, that there's like nothing secret between you. There's a lot of mentors or so-called mentors out there that are selling these channelings from your twin that there's nothing specific about you or your twin. I mean, they could give the same thing to anybody and anybody would say it applied to them. We're not talking about that. Archangel and Michael are hardcore about giving very, very specific input about who's a twin and who's not. They'll, like when Tanya and I I'll ask 3, 4, or 5 times to show me in 3, 4, or 5 different ways. And then we validate it to the point where Michael gets kind of pissed, but we don't like to mess around with this shit. So that's what we do. The energy signature. There is a very significant energy signature between true twins. This is how dark targets a lot of them. Dark can see twins walking down the street. When you're together with your twin, you are a massive target. Dark can see you across the room. Tanya and I can pick up on the energy signature of twins just by even seeing pictures of them. Mm-hmm. When they come into a session, we can pretty much tell right off the bat if they're really twins or not. There's an energy signature to it.
Yes, it's very potent, and you can't even describe it in words. So it cannot, that's all these things that we're talking about cannot be replicated by dark. Trust me, they've tried. But it's just something that's in us, that's God-given, that will not, I mean, you can't mistake it.
Exactly. If we've got somebody that does not believe that they're really not a twin, and they don't have any of these, we've had this happen before where somebody's like, yeah, but I know I'm a twin. I'm like, you don't have a cord. You don't have a seal. You've got no markings. You don't know what's going on with your heart chakra. You haven't had Kundalini. You don't know what it is. You have no telepathy, no 5D, no contact with team. Archangel Michael and God are telling us you're not twins in 4 different ways. And there's no energy signature of a true twin pair here. Tanya and I have an energetic test that we do that this person that can actually feel whether or not they're a twin. So we save that usually until last just to validate. And we do this with everybody. It's like, if you're a twin, you're going to know it. If you're not a twin, you're going to know it. So that's what we use to validate true twinships, because we really feel like there's a lot of misinformation. There's people that are all on the wrong path. We want everybody to be moving in the path that best serves them.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the misinformation that I've seen in my journey is that everybody has a twin. Everybody doesn't. It's the amount of twins is so small, it can't even be calculated. So it's almost very important for Lynn and I to, because God and Michael say nobody listens to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason we put out the things that we do that people don't like. But
all in the name of truth.
Yes. And the thing is there's so many of these myths out there that it's important to squash them, because if you're, like we've said, if you're walking down the wrong path, you're only screwing yourself.
Yeah.
So,
You're unnecessarily beating yourself up.
yeah.
The twin path is not a romantic journey. It is a responsibility. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mastery. It's not a cakewalk into some perfect romantic wedding land. That's not how it works.
No.
In fact, you have to get rid of the idea that's what you want before you could ever even come into union, and you have to have mastered everything and gone into your mission before that. So there's a lot of people are reaching that right now, but it isn't a joyride. It really isn't a joyride. We've had people come to us just like broken down. I can't take it anymore, but what do I got to do to make my journey work? And we're like, well, you're not a twin, and these are the 8 reasons why, and we're going to show it to you so you can feel it for yourself. And then we've released them, into, okay, well, you have a soulmate that's waiting for you, and this is your path. And we've actually had people come back the next day and say it's the first time that they've slept well at night, and that they're able to actually finally release this grueling journey that they weren't even supposed to be on in the first place. So it's kind of like a responsibility to make sure that everybody really knows where they're at and why they're doing what they're doing. Some of these people have come to us because they've had tarot readings that told them they were true twins. Tarot cards do not diagnose true twinships. There is nothing in a tarot card. I don't care what spirit's telling you. There's nothing in, or spirit. That's another thing. We'll get to that in a minute. But tarot readings, we'll talk about soulmate relationships, but there is no tarot card that tells anything. It's just a picture in a deck. And I understand people have a lot of respect for tarot. Tarot is used as a tool that can be useful in a lot of ways, but this is not one of them. This is throwing people on the wrong path.
People can learn how to read tarot. They can. Lynn knows how to do it. I know how to do it. We're spot on with it. But the whole thing is we're not going to base someone's entire journey of their lifetime on what a card tells us.
Exactly.
So
synchronicities and signs too. It's like, well, I asked God to tell me if I was a twin, and I asked for 2 frogs on the back of a bus, and I saw 2 frogs on the back of the bus. Well, that's not a validation of anything. That's a sign. Big deal. People that are still looking at numbers and signs are way back in the beginning of their ascension. We are supposed to be way more mastered that. If you're a true twin and you're on this path still, if you are still on this path, you are connecting directly with team. You know how to validate. Your discernment is on point. Dark isn't going to lead you astray with random signs. Number signs can apply to a million different things. I don't care how specifically you ask. If you straight up ask God to tell you, he's going to show you in ways that are unmistakable. And then if you validate it, that's one thing. But still, all of these characteristics would still have to apply.
Yeah. Most of the time with signs and synchronicities, when Lynn is saying it's at the beginning of your journey, that's basically when your angels are banging their heads against a brick wall because you can't hear them. Mm-hmm. They're throwing things in your face like, hello, pay attention to me. And eventually you're supposed to pick it up and then move forward into something else.
Yep. Another way that a lot of people in the community have been led onto the wrong path was from a lot of well-meaning people in the community that are providing these readings from, quote, spirit or creator, who is not God, and messages from, archangels or things that are like spirits that are unvalidated, or channelings. This is a God-centered journey. This is all about twin flames that come from a God spark, not a spirit spark, not a universal spark. This is a God spark. If spirit, quote, is telling you that you're a true twin and you can't validate it and it's not God, it's not worth a damn.
It's one of those things of what spirit are you listening to?
Exactly. Yeah.
You're going to know unmistakably that God's talking to you. And he's definitely not going to deal with someone saying spirit, calling him spirit or creator. He's not going to like it. Mm-mm. So, validating everything you get is very important.
Yeah. Well, we hope this helped. We do offer a a validation session. It's only like 20 minutes. We'll put the link below the video. If you guys are not sure if you're on path, if you're not sure if it's your true twin, if you're not sure what's going on, if you feel like something's up, like you may have a walk-in situation or something like that, and you really just need everything validated and locked down, and you really want to know what path you're on, we offer these sessions. It only takes 20 minutes. And Tanya will go through all of these signs with you and tell you exactly what we see in here. We can do the energy test as well. We just really feel like there's a lot of misleading information in the community and a lot of people that really need to be kind of moved on their way, either deeper into their twin path, or they need to be kind of set free from the torture that is this twin path if they're not meant to be on it. So I hope this really helps everybody. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them below. If you reach out to us at the links provided, we only have like literally 5 minutes a day to check email. So only email if there's an action item for us, like, hey, I don't know what session I need. Hey, I have a question about whatever. The briefer the better, because we don't always get to our email.
Yeah.
So there we go. Hope that helped. Love you guys. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.